The Jewish story. This week's story from the Holocaust is taken from the book Holocaust Journey, Traveling in Search of the Past, written by Martin Gilbert. And now came the most horrible episode of them all. The Bund leader had warned me that if I lived to be 100, I would never forget some of the things I saw. He did not exaggerate. The military rule stipulates that a freight car may carry 8 horses or 40 soldiers. Without any baggage at all, a maximum of 100 passengers standing close together and pressing against each other could be crowded into a car. The Germans had simply issued orders to the effect that 120 to 130 Jews had to enter each car. These orders were now being carried out. Alternately swinging and firing with their rifles, the policemen were forcing still more people into the 2 cars which were already overfull. The shots continued to ring out in the rear, and the driven mob surged forward, exerting an irresistible pressure against those nearest to the train. These unfortunates, crazed by what they had been through, scourged by the policemen and shoved forward by the milling mob, then began to climb on the heads and shoulders of those in the trains. These were helpless, since they had the weight of the entire advancing throng against them, and responded only with howls of anguish to those who, clutching at their hair and clothes for support, trampling on necks, faces, and shoulders, breaking bones and shouting with insensate fury, attempted to climb over them. More than another score of human beings, men, women, and children, gained admittance in this fashion. Then the policemen slammed the doors across the hastily withdrawn limbs that still protruded, and pushed the iron bars in place. The 2 cars were now crammed to bursting with tightly packed human flesh, completely hermetically filled. All this while the entire camp had reverberated with a tremendous volume of sound, in which the hideous groans and screams mingled weirdly with shots, curses, and bellowed commands. Nor was this all. I know that many people will not believe me, will not be able to believe me, will think I exaggerate or invent. But I saw it, and it is not exaggerated or invented. I have no other proofs, no photographs. All I can say is that I saw it, and that it is the truth. The floors of the car had been covered with a thick white powder. It was quicklime. Quicklime is simply unslaked lime or calcium oxide that has been dehydrated. Anyone who has seen cement being mixed knows what occurs when water is poured on lime. The mixed bubbles and steams as the powder combines with the water, generating a large amount of heat. Here the lime served a double purpose in the Nazi economy of brutality. The moist flesh coming in contact with the lime is rapidly dehydrated and burned. The occupants of the cars would be literally burned to death before long, the flesh eaten from their bones. Thus the Jews would die in agony, fulfilling the promise Himmler had issued in accord with the will of the Führer in Warsaw in 1942. Secondly, the lime would prevent decomposing bodies from spreading disease. It was efficient and inexpensive, a perfectly chosen agent for their purposes. It took 3 hours to fill up the entire train by repetitions of this procedure. It was twilight when the 46 cars were packed. From one end to the other, the train, with its quivering cargo of flesh, seemed to throb, vibrate, rock, and jump as if bewitched. There would be a strangely uniform, momentary hull, and then again the train would begin to moan and sob, wail and howl. Inside the camp, a few score dead bodies remained, the few in the final throes of death. German policemen walked around at leisure, with smoking guns, pumping bullets into anything that by a moan or motion betrayed an excess of vitality. Soon not a single one was left alive. In the now quiet camp, the only sounds were the inhuman screams that were echoes from the moving train. Then these too ceased. All that was now left was the stench of excrement and rotting straw, and a queer, sickening acidulous odour which, I thought, may have come from the quantities of blood that had been shed, and with which the ground was stained. Please pass on this story.